Hey everyone. Merry Christmas Eve for those who are celebrating Christmas here. I cannot believe it's already Christmas Eve. I can't believe that tomorrow is Christmas. It's crazy. Just I don't know, the end of the year just goes by. You feel like it goes by slow and then it actually goes by really fast. And so, yeah, I just cannot believe we are this far into the year and 2023 is upon us. If we haven't met before, hey, my name's Teresa. I post every single weekend. I do whatever really I want to do because I don't like putting myself in a box. So I wanted to just recap the year so far. I know a lot of people have not been doing this yet, but my guests are ending up coming a bit later. It's Christmas Eve and they're not here yet. And so they might end up staying later. So I don't know if I'll be posting next weekend or not. I got some other things kind of going on too, which I'll go into as well. So I just wanted to chat about this year. This year has been crazy. The big overall theme, I would say, this year is just all about health. And as you guys know, I've openly talked about some health struggles. I'm going to talk a little bit more about them. So, I'm going to be using correct terms for things. Yeah, it's going to be kind of mature and like detailed and whatnot. Well, not that detailed, but using the correct names for certain things and just talking openly about my health because I think it helps a lot of people to talk openly about their health. And I know a lot of women go through health and their voices aren't heard or, you know, what have you. So, yeah, this year was just all about health and let's get into it. So, a year ago, I injured my back and I called the clinic that I go to, scheduled an appointment with my doctor, and then my doctor was no longer there. And that's totally fine. I haven't seen that doctor since the beginning, I think, or like summer of 2021. And so, yeah, she didn't stay long. Maybe it was earlier than that. I don't remember. So yeah, called the clinic and they're like, "Oh, that doctor's not here, but this is who I really like." Um, and I'm not gonna give too much away because I don't know. I don't want to. So, anyways, yeah, they're like, "This is who I like," and I was like, "Okay, cool." And just on like not really looking into it or anything, I was like, "Yeah, sure." I looked at what her um the difference was between. I think I've said this before. I guess I can share this part. The difference between an MD and a DO, and I was like, "Okay, this might be, like, really, really good." Overall, I haven't had a really bad experience with doctors. I just haven't been 100% comfortable with them. I didn't even tell them my sexuality for the longest time because I always had older doctors, women, and you don't know. It's just, again, the unknown that is so scary, especially when it's something like sexuality where they legally cannot discriminate against it, but it still happens. So, anyways, met this doctor. Um, it was all good, and then I kept end up seeing her because in the beginning of 2022 hit, I started to get like infections. um, I've gotten 3 UTIs now in this entire year, 2 yeast infections, 2 or 3 sinus infections. I really don't know if it is 3 because I had one at the beginning of the year, and then it actually ended up coming back, so I really don't know if that's 3 or not, but do what you want with that. Um Yeah, I've been a mess. I've went in for muscle spasms because that's been a huge thing of my life recently, especially the ones that you can get, like, right here on your sternum, because right here, is your sternum, so that's bone, but your ribs are actually connected by, oh my gosh, I just had it, cartilage. I was like, just had the word in my head, are connected by cartilage, and that can actually get inflamed. And because now we have COVID, it can get really confusing to know, like, are you semi struggling to breathe because of, your cartilage up here being inflamed, or is it, COVID? So I've just been in and out of the doctor's office since February, I think. February or May. And I've gone, it's kind of embarrassing to say to some degree. Um, I've gone every single month since then. So since February or like March. I know I just said May like 5 seconds ago, but it was March. Um, so yeah, needless to say, we've gotten to know each other very, very well. And she's done an amazing job educating me on certain things. The biggest thing that happened was I did end up getting a UTI in the beginning of this year, and then glucose was found in my urine test, and so I got the call from my friends who I used to work for. One of their moms is actually a nurse, and she used to be my doctor's nurse. And so she called me and said, "Hey, there was glucose found in your urine, positive for UTI. We'll send medication for that, but there was glucose found. We just need to make sure it's not diabetes." And my heart just stopped in that moment. I have always been afraid of diabetes just in general. I am adopted. I don't know what I am at risk for. I have people in my life who have diabetes, and it's really scary for me because I've always known that I have been obese, and I'm fully aware of the complications that that can, create. But like I kind of I got really scared, and when I go to the doctor's office, yeah, my blood pressure is like kind of up there. It's usually elevated, so it's never concerning unless I do have an infection, which I've learned when you have an infection, your blood pressure can go way up there, and so can your heart rate because your body's trying to fight off this infection. So I just got really scared, and I asked her, like, okay, if it's negative, then like, what does that mean, or something like that. So I went, I got the blood work done. I, of course, started looking up online, like, symptoms of diabetes, and I didn't have any of the symptoms. I barely drink water, first of all. Like, I only do when I have like a UTI, and obviously with the medication and stuff, you have to flush out your system, you know. So yeah, I didn't have that. I don't have blurry vision. Um, I've been monitoring my blood pressure and heart rate at home. Um, and everything's actually been normal as far as that goes. It hasn't been as high as it is at the doctor's office. And speaking of that, I'll show you guys something. I really like this app that Dr. Mike actually had on his channel, and it's called Instant Heart Rate. You guys aren't going to be able to see that. Hold up. It's called Instant Heart Rate. And so all it is I'm not going to do it now because I'm not sitting properly to check my heart rate, but you use your flashlight on your phone and you cover it up, and it can detect your heart rate. So everything's been normal in that sense. I wasn't losing weight uncontrollably. When I cut myself with a razor, which is a skill that I have gained this year, my wounds heal up pretty quickly. They're not slow healing or anything like that. Um, and because I have people in my life who are diabetic, I know what that's like, having slow healing wounds. I wasn't really, like, tired. As much as my parents believe that I take a nap all the time, I really don't. I'm constantly doing stuff, usually for the church. So, really, nothing was lining up whatsoever. Thankfully, it came back as negative, so that was good. But it was just, like, really scary, and then, and I think it's just because society all the time when somebody's obese and we have those images in our heads, it's always like, "Oh, that person has diabetes." But I know people who are, like, outside, like, healthy and fit and whatever, and they also have diabetes. So it's like, you know? So anyways, that was the huge health scare, I think, of this entire year that I've had. I haven't had any other huge thing, just normal yeast infections, UTIs, all the kind of fun stuff that comes with being a woman. Um, but yeah, I'm just really happy that I found a really good doctor and we have a very, very good relationship. And yeah, um, I did have the other thing that happened, like kind of bigger thing that happened though, was in June. So, women out here, I did have, like, a month of spotting, which was super not normal, and I was not on birth control at the time. Um, and so I was constantly just talking to my doctor about that. Thankfully, she ordered a ultrasound, and holy crap, you guys, ultrasounds, even with insurance, is still expensive. So, we got the ultrasound done, and it was to look for polyps and, fibroids. And I actually was researching both, and I learned that a risk with fibroids, something that is a risk with fibroids or whatever, is early onset puberty, which I went through as a kid. So I was already at risk for fibroids. Luckily, nothing was out of the ordinary. And so immediately I kind of asked her about that because I hadn't told her about my early onset puberty situation as a child. Um, and I don't know why. Maybe because like when I was growing up, like I don't recall my parents ever telling like doctors about it, but then again, I was seeing specialists for that specific thing, so I don't know. So I told her about that and decided to go on birth control. And she said birth control can also decrease the risk for uterine fibroids. And so, yeah, um, everything else has been good though. It's just, yeah, it's just been crazy. The also really good thing that came out of, sorry, my hand is like really dry over here. The other good thing that came out of this year was I actually got allergy testing done, and this is something that I wanted to do for a really long time because as somebody who has a closed adoption, you do not have any access to medical history and that sort of thing. So, yes, having a child by itself is like a complete unknown, but if you're allergic to bees, for example, then there might be a chance that your kid is allergic to bees. Well, you can't really assume that with children who are adopted. And so I always had the fear that I would eat something, have a severe reaction, be rushed to the hospital. Yeah, I watched The Game Plan from Disney Channel, like, a lot, and I think that kinda, like, scarred me a little bit. And so, I was like, "Yay, allergy testing." And, the worst thing is I have to drive 2 hours. I had to drive 2 hours to get it done, and literally, we were supposed to get a storm that same week. Literally, the day after was when we were supposed to get a winter storm. And so yeah, it was just crazy. But I found out a lot of environmental things that I'm allergic to. I'm even allergic to dogs and cats. So, that's great. Luckily the 2 cats that we have are in the basement and I see them sometimes, but whatever. But my dog, on the other hand, wanders our entire house as if he owns the place. So, yeah, it was just nice to get some answers. And with that, I am going to start immunotherapy. So allergy shots at least once a week, potentially twice a week, but it'll probably be once a week. And I'm really excited for that too, because I have such anxiety a lot of times about going to the doctor, which is so freaking weird because I love going to the doctor. I love the nursing staff there and everybody. So I don't, again, I don't know why. It might be white coat syndrome, or the white coat effect or whatever, even though my doctor doesn't even wear her white coat. I'm hoping to just like that constant exposure will help my heart rate go down a bit, because it's definitely above like 100 when I go there and we have to check it again. But you know what I realized? I also realized that you're supposed to wait like 5 minutes before you even take vitals. So I don't know why. And this happened at my allergist too. Literally immediately when I sat down, they put the heart rate monitor on me and they start taking my blood pressure. I'm like, did you guys not just see the walk that we had, like coming down the hall and stuff like that? So, yeah, anyways, that's a whole thing. And then at my allergist, she took my blood pressure with my sleeve, like on me, which you're not supposed to do. Here's if you can get like a bare arm, you know, that's how you should do it. But I don't know. And so of course my top number was super high and my bottom one was completely normal. And she's like, "Oh, it could just be the anxiety with the weather, kicking in." And I was like, "Maybe, but also like you didn't wait 5 minutes and you took it over a sleeve." So, yeah. Anyways, so I'll be starting that. Hopefully it helps with just my anxiety cuz I can be there more and just kind of work on it and yeah, I've learned a lot about my health and um yeah. Yep, I also currently learned that if I'm on antibiotics, I need to eat some yogurt with it, like from day 1 until the end of the antibiotics, and I need to make sure that I have medication for yeast infection on hand. Yeah, this was so not the week to get sick with anything because I don't know when the clinic is open and when they're closed and stuff like that. So, anyways, my parents are back from walking the dog. I'm gonna let you all go. Thanks for hanging around. Thank you so much for a fantastic year. It's been really fun, and I hope you all have a Merry Christmas if you celebrate. If not, have an awesome weekend, and I'll see you guys for sure in 2023, but maybe before that. We'll see. All right. Bye, guys.